Hi everybody! Today you're going to be exploring a type of writing you're probably already very familiar with. It's called narrative writing. You've seen it since you've been very young. Narrative writing is used to tell a story. In this video, you'll receive tips and tricks to help you write a great personal narrative as an in-class assignment. A personal narrative is also a story, but it's a story about you. Let's look at the features of a narrative. Narratives tell about something that happens or has happened. They also tell events in the order in which they happen. They always have a clear beginning, middle, and end. They are set in a certain place and time, and they focus on someone to whom things happen. You are basically going to explain to us in your personal narrative about a slice of life. Give us a snapshot of an event that happened to you. You will find examples of narrative writing when you read short stories, novels, biographies, autobiographies, news stories, mysteries, fables, myths, travel writing, diaries, and journals. The first example of narrative writing that easily comes to mind is the famous "Once upon a time, in a faraway land, lived a beautiful princess." In class, you will be asked, "What's your story?" And that's what you're going to need to write about. I know some of you are saying to yourself, "Well, I don't have a story," or at least I don't have a story that's worth writing about. Everyone has a story. When you look at a person, any person, remember that everyone has a story. Everyone has gone through something that has changed them. And that's the type of story we'll be looking for as you write your own personal narrative. The first thing you will need to do is to brainstorm and list as many significant events that have happened in your life as possible. Try to think of a situation that has changed you or taught you a lesson. You could write about your most embarrassing moment, your best day ever. You can tell me about the story of one of your scars. You can talk about the best decision you ever made, the weirdest thing that ever happened to you, your favorite childhood memory, moving day, the biggest lie you ever told and its consequences, your first day of school, a time when you were very frightened, an award that you won, a fight with a friend. The options are endless. Once you've done a good job of brainstorming, you're going to choose a slice of life. You're going to choose an incident or an experience that changed you or taught you a lesson. Choose an experience that you remember well so that you'll be able to write about it. Also choose an experience that your readers will enjoy reading about, and that you'll enjoy writing about as well. Make sure it's something that you can tell about in a short narrative. It's important to choose one event that made you feel something. Maybe it made you feel tickled, embarrassed, sad, angry, disappointed, proud, nervous, or scared. Try to choose an event that was insightful, meaning that it taught you a lesson. So make sure you reflect back on the event. Think about what you learned at the time from having the experience, or look back and learn from it now. Share your life lesson with your audience in a subtle way. That's what narratives are all about. Once you've got your topic, you're going to narrow it down so you can talk about it in detail. Always remember that you are giving us a snapshot image of the event that changed you, a slice of life, a few precious moments. If you're going to share with me the trip you made to Walt Disney with your family, I don't need to hear about the complete trip. All I need to know is the time you were most afraid as you were going up the highest roller coaster in the amusement park. A really good narrative helps the reader feel and experience all the emotions that the writer actually felt during the event. I want you to make me see, hear, smell, taste, and actually touch every single detail you describe to me. It's possible to use dialogue, action and thoughts to get those details and those feelings across. So you guessed it, the next step is to make a plan. You need to tell me what your story is going to be about, and it really needs to be clear in your mind what happened first, what happened second, what happened last, and the details surrounding those events. Narratives always answer the questions: what happened? Who was there? When did it happen? And where? How did it start? And then? Next? After that? How did it end? How did you feel? Hope, love, peace, purity, anger, fear. Once you've worked out the details of your plan, it's time to start writing your narrative. You need to start with a strong beginning to hook the reader right off the bat. Begin with detail, for example. This appeals to the reader's senses by writing a vivid description of the scene. My lonely school sat in the middle of the desert. We can easily visualize this. You may begin with a question. Make readers wonder. Was dust my only constant companion in this desert? You may also begin with dialogue. This lures readers into the story quickly. You can also begin with an action. When I opened the door, the wind slapped me. Whatever your choice, make sure your reader will want to know more. Imagine your narrative will be transformed into a movie and choose the part that would be put in slow motion. Slow those parts down with a snapshot so the audience can fully experience the most important moments in your narrative. This is the part where you need to use a lot of description, sensory detail, action to get your point across. As I mentioned before, it is very important to tell events in time order. To help you accomplish this, use time order transitions. Here are a few popular ones. First, next, later, finally, more important, most of all, last but not least. Many others are listed in your transitions document. Make sure you used this document as you're writing your narrative. Time transitions are there to help your narrative flow. Transitions sometimes also help you move your story along faster. For those little sections that don't really need a whole lot of explaining, just like in a movie. Don't tell a bedtime story that'll put them to sleep. Leave out the boring parts that readers would skip over. Move the reader along with transitions so he or she never gets lost. Transitions can be accomplished with dialogue, thoughts, and actions. Here are a few other transitions or connecting words that tie events together. Words like before, suddenly, therefore, because, as a result, consequently, since, for, and so. I know I've said it in this video before, but make sure you use lots of personal details. Make your audience feel the way you felt by reliving the experience. Use sensory details, thoughts, dialogue, action. Show readers what you want them to see. Don't just tell them. And last but not least, you need to write a strong ending. Make it feel finished and check to make sure the reader sees the life lesson that you wanted to share. In the middle of every difficulty lies opportunity. Well said by Albert Einstein.